everyone, I'm back for part 2 of customizing my sister's doll, a Souldoll Kate. If you're interested in the first part of the customization, I'll link to it in the video description. For this face-up, I'll be using gouache paints, chalk pastels, watercolor pencils, and Mr. Super Clear as a sealant. I started this doll by sealing the head 3 times. The humidity outside is about 94% after last night's rain, which is horrible weather for face-ups. But I counteract the humidity by using a hairdryer on the head after every layer of sealant to ensure it's completely cured. This face-up happened on Friday, December 14th, right after lunch. As I mentioned in the previous video, I'm trying to get through the customization of this doll as fast as possible, and right now I've got about 5 hours logged in this project. That's actually not a lot of time, and I could have customized this doll entirely in one day, if not for the fact it had started raining. So even though it's split between 2 days, I'm still considering it kind of a dolly speedrun. The first time I do the lower eyelashes, they turn out awful because my hands are pretty shaky today for some reason, and it's also been a while since I did a face-up. This is one of the things that makes gouache paint super nice. I can just wipe off any of the paint with regular water and try again. My sister sent me some mock-ups of what she wants this doll to look like, so I keep my phone handy for quick reference as I go. The eyebrows are kind of a different shape than what I go for on my own dolls, so that's kind of fun. She also wanted fewer lower lashes than I typically do, so that was interesting too. I clean up the edges of the brows with water to reshape them as I go. Then I add the first layer of blushing to the lips, cheeks, and underneath the chin. I'll avoid blushing around the eyes until after the paint has been sealed. Since the head is much newer than the body it's going onto, I blush around the jawline with a custom mix of yellow and the usual peach color I use for contouring these areas. This will help the more mellow body blend with the newer, pinker resin of the head, without having to blush the whole thing. After a layer of sealant, I enhance the blushing on the lips more and start the eyeshadow. My sister picked all neutral colors for the eyeshadow and the lips, so I begin with some warm browns around the eyes. I put the color on pretty heavy at first, and then use a fluffy brush to soften and blend it. I messed up one side of the blushing around the eyes though, so I use a wet Q-tip to wipe it off and then try again when it's dry. The second try goes much better. I rely on my erasers to clean up around the mouth and brows. Since my hands are so shaky today, I use watercolor pencil to touch up the eyeliner on the upper lid. But I end up scraping off some of the gouache, so I'll have to touch that up later. For just a little more depth, I use a hint of purple blushing on the next layer, adding it to the inner corners of the eyes. Then it's more blushing all around her jaws and ears and the back of her neck too. I use peach tones for blushing around her nose and mouth. To paint the teeth, I use white gouache. It's a little too thin at first, so I use some straight out of the tube to get a good opaque color. I love gouache for this because of how it lets me clean up the white paint that gets on her lips with just a wet paintbrush. It stays workable until I seal it. Then I use some bronze pearl pigment to add just a hint of sparkle to her eyeshadow. 2 more layers of sealant go on top of all this, and then I add a bit of shine to the lips with Liquitex gloss varnish. Some PVA glue goes on the inside of her upper eyelids, and then I put in some eyelashes. I started this face up right around 12:30, and with the help of my hairdryer to rapidly cure the sealant, I finished at 2:27, 3 minutes before I needed to grab my shoes and go pick up Evie from kindergarten. That means all in all, customizing this doll took a total of just 7.5 hours. Not bad compared to how long it usually takes me. And here's how the doll looks in the end. My sister arrived just after 3 and was delighted to finally see her doll in person. It was a fun deviation from work on my own dolls too, and good practice for trying to complete someone else's vision. That's it for today though. Thanks for watching. Bye.